All right, everybody, it is time for Second Win Thursday. This is a show to help you get your second win. I'm Dacia Moore, licensed professional counselor. I'm going to give you some tips and tools and strategies for developing a championship mindset and creating the life of your dreams. Today, we're going to talk about Women's History Month, and I've got some really great information for you. We're going to start in just a few seconds. So hold on. That's right. Welcome to Second Win Thursday, coming to you every Thursday, 1 o'clock Central Time. My name is Dacia Moore. I'm a licensed professional counselor and coach, and I'm here to help you get your second win. Now, if you don't know it, second win is a marathon runner's term where a woman is running a race, or a man, and if they just keep going, even though they're tired, if they just keep going, they will get their second win and finish their race successfully. And that's what we want to do, is finish our race successfully. So Second Win Thursday is here to help you do just that. This is not a counseling program. This is a self-help program to help you with tips and tools that will help you get your second win and successfully finish your race. Now, this is Women's History Month. Today is March the 7th. And so I want to make sure that we honor some of the heroes, some of the female heroes that have come before us to help us learn how to be successful in this life. And the first one I want to mention to you is Mamie Phipps Clark, who was born in Hot Springs, Arkansas. She obtained her bachelor's and master's degree in Howard University. Now, she was born in 1917. She went to Howard and got her master's there. And then she went on to get her PhD at Columbia. I'm reading her biography a little bit here. Now, you know, we experience racism today as women, sexism as women, certainly racism as women of color, Black women of color. So can you imagine the kind of racism that she experienced in her day? Okay. She went and got her doctorate degree. Education is important for us to get. We must let our children know that. But she went to get her doctorate degree in Columbia University, and her husband, who was also a PhD, Kenneth Clark, he was the first African-American president to over the American Psychological Association. And they both studied racial bias in education. And they even had the expertise to testify in the school desegregation case, Brown versus Board of Education in 1954. So I just want to honor Miss Mamie Clark, Dr. Mamie Clark. She passed in 1983, so she is no longer with us. She was only 66 years old. That's close to my age. So, you know, and I feel like I have a lot of life left in me, as I hope you do. But I wanted to talk to her about her today, and the quote for today, this is the quote for today, is no one can help you, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. Now think about that. Eleanor Roosevelt said that. We've had other people who have said that, but I want you to get that quote in your spirit. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. Meaning that certainly you'll have people who criticize you, condemn, complain, think they are better than you. But unless you agree with them, what they say, what they think doesn't matter. And Dr. Mamie Phipps Clark did not let other people's opinion of her stop her from getting her bachelor's degree, her master's degree, and her doctorate degree at a time when racism was rampant in this country and sexism as well. So she had a lot of nah, you can't do it. You're not meant to be here. You're not supposed to be in this room. That did not deter her. And I encourage it to not deter you, because you have something in your heart that the Lord has put there that he wants you to do. And it's important to not let other people's opinion of you dissuade you from your purpose. So the quote for today is, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. So today I want to talk to you, when I coach folks and counsel them, I use my framework, CLEAR, CLEAR. And I want to talk to you today about exposing negative self-talk. That's the E in CLEAR, exposing negative self-talk. And the reason that's important is because, as the quote says, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. But if you agree internally that you are inferior, if you feel less than, I had a client this morning who was lamenting about her upbringing, saying that she has 3 siblings, and her mother and father would often favor her siblings over her. She was like the black sheep in the family, the villain. I'll call it the villain in the family. And so she was always passed over, and began to adopt that idea that I am not enough. I am not good enough. My sisters and brothers are better than me. It must be so because my parents are treating me in this way. And now as an adult, she feels very insecure, very insignificant, very uncomfortable in her skin, doesn't feel like she belongs in certain places. And we are working through that, because now that you are an adult, you do not have to give people permission to get in your head. Nobody can make you feel inferior without your permission. But what has happened to many people is that they have come to believe that they are not enough. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. And I want to share something with you that's called the BC connection. Beliefs, or actually what's easier to remember, is thoughts and feelings are connected. Thoughts and feelings are connected. I talk about this often because it is a relationship that is important for you to understand. That when you feel inferior, when you feel less than, when you feel like you don't belong, you are thinking thoughts that are agreeing with the feeling, I don't belong here. Actually, according to REBT, which is my specialty, rational emotive behavior therapy, actually, you are believing that you don't belong, and that's why you feel. So thoughts and feelings are connected. We actually, according to REBT, we are thinking beings that feel. Some people say we are feeling beings who think. I think it's kind of circular. But in any event, that's very technical to say that if you have that belief that you don't belong, you are going to feel like you don't belong, right? And so when we look at women in history who have done great things, they have had the belief that I was put here to do great things. And even though people outside of my supportive circle believe that I can't do these things, I can do them. And for the client that I was sharing with you that I met with earlier this week, her family members were actually the ones telling her that she didn't belong. Can you imagine feeling like you don't belong in your own family? That you're the outcast, that you're different, that you're less than, that everybody, your brothers and sisters are better than you? That's a very hurtful place to be. But what we're working on is helping her change her mindset. And it's all about your mindset. And we can learn from our ancestors how to have a championship mindset. And that's what I want to talk about. When you get this relationship, that thoughts and feelings are connected, you can start planting good seeds in your thinking. And that's a question that I have for you today. Are you planting good seeds in your thinking? Meaning, are you saying things that are supportive to yourself? I can do this. I belong here. Even if I don't feel like I belong here, I'm going to be here because I have something that I want to say. I am deeply loved by God. I am a woman who has a voice and who has important things that I want to say. I belong here. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. That is true. That's the quote of the day. But we often don't think about how we are thinking about ourselves. Now, my question to you is this: are you your own best friend or your own worst enemy? Now, that is one activity that you can start doing from now until next week when we do our next program. Try to be your own best friend in your thinking and say things to yourself that you would say to your friend if she or he were experiencing the same thing. What would you say to a good friend if they were saying to you that they don't think they belong? They don't think they can make it. They don't think they are good enough. What would you say to that person? All right. So thoughts and feelings are connected. That is a foundational principle. And really, one of the ways that you can really figure out how you feel about yourself, you may already know. And most people have a lot of good things they say when they are achieving. But what is really the key, and we've talked about this before, what's really the key is when you make a mistake, when you don't perform up to the level of your own expectation, when you miss a deadline at that meeting, when you might say the wrong thing on that Zoom call. After the event is over and you have not performed to your capacity or what you think is your capacity, what do you say to yourself? Now, that is the proof of how you feel about yourself. Not when you're doing well, which is great. I mean, give yourself all the accolades, pat yourself on the back. Don't become an egomaniac, but it's good to acknowledge when you've done well. I think, especially as Black women, we kind of pass over the good things that we've done as if it were expected, but we beat ourselves up when we make a mistake or when we don't achieve the way that we thought we should. But how do you treat yourself? What do you say to yourself when you have made a mistake? That's when you really discover if you're your own best friend or your own worst enemy. Now, let me give you an example. Let's just say that you are leading a meeting, you're giving a presentation at your meeting, and maybe some of the statistics